Hello and welcome to our LBCC Esports podcast. I'm your host, Chris, also known as INB7. Today we have a very special guest, Ramsey, with us today.
Hey.
Ramsey is the Student Operations Coordinator here at LBCC Esports. Welcome, Ramsey. Thank you for sitting with us today. I know we're taking you away from your busy schedule here. I know it can be crazy. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what you do here at LBCC Esports.
Well, my role as a Student Operations Director is to manage a few different areas. It's to manage the art, the outreach, and facilities. And although I don't personally go and do these things, sometimes I do, except for art because I'm not an artist. But my job is to oversee those three areas. So facilities, we have 52 PCs in that other room and things happen. So we need people dedicated to being on top of them and also helping us manage our events and also managing who is going to be in those spaces at what time. So for example, when League rolls around, when we have other schools playing at our facility, we're going to have scheduling being done to make sure that Valorant practice isn't taking up the computers we're using to play an official match. I also oversee the outreach department, and that ranges from on-campus events to outreach to the greater Long Beach area. And we do a number of events, and we're looking at hosting a few more. And then the art department, they are in charge of making assets for whatever the other squads need, especially media squad needs. For example, they made the Grim Cup flyer and pushed it out, and they are currently making a few flyers right now, and they're also making our YouTube banner. And they have a lot of things in the pipeline. And it's very exciting. So
you have to coordinate quite a lot.
Yeah.
Every department, essentially, which is awesome.
Well, those are just within the operations section, I guess you could say. There are three sections. It would be operations, competitive, and then media. Those would be the three sections, and I just happen to head the operations section.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for breaking it down for us. That's awesome.
No problem.
So you were coordinating the Grim Cup operations this year. How exciting was it to finally be able to host a tournament of this magnitude here at our esports lab?
It was unbelievable. It was like I'm struggling because there were so many schools here, and we were managing a few different rooms on campus, and we were running people back and forth, and then finals comes along, and wow, it's really an experience to see those players playing at a high level, and also seeing the enjoyment out of both like players and even parents, because this was also an event for the collegiate level and the high school level. It was played in the collegiate format. However, some of the high schools really stepped up to the plate and were taking down some big names in the tournament. It was such a fun scene to be a part of and interact with.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I know even it was Valley View High School that actually, so they won Rocket League, right?
Oh, yeah. And then I believe, was it Downey that made it to the finals of Valorant? Who was LBCC playing in the Valorant final there, if you happen to remember off the top of your head?
I'm not actually sure. I know that LBCC took the win.
Yeah.
I know that for sure. That was actually really exciting to watch. Watching it live is definitely, you get all that hype.
So weren't you casting that game, or was that Rome?
So yeah, it was Rome.
Okay.
So I was right next to him in the engineering booth. But
gotcha.
Yeah, so we had it handled. It was a lot of work, but it was really fun. It was a really long weekend. It definitely was. We casted for 20 hours in total. Yes. 12 hours the first day, 8 hours the second day, and I was here from 6 a.m. to like 10 p.m. each day, which was crazy.
Yeah, I think altogether staffers put about 22 hours into Grim Cup.
Yeah.
And after 22 hours of Grim Cup, I needed like 2 days to recover.
Yeah, it took a lot to recover.
That was a lot, but like the experience was well worth it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was a blast, and like I'm glad that we were able to take part in that. So furthermore, what got you into esports?
Well, it's a funny story. So my mom, she works on campus actually, and she started seeing these flyers being posted up around the school.
Okay.
And to which she was like, "Hey, you're on your room and on your computer a lot. You should do esports. You can do it. You'll be awesome." And And I'm like, does she know? Does she know how many hours I have on Minecraft? So I ended up trying out for Rocket League, and the more I got involved, the more I started hearing about the organizational side of it, and that started to pique my interest a lot more. So I ended up getting invested into the operation side of it, and I saw opportunities to do different things, and eventually I earned the role of operations director, which was really awesome. And currently I am the varsity sub for Rocket League. We're still looking for more players if anyone's interested. But it's been a really awesome experience, especially to practice with the varsity Rocket League team, because as their sub, I do train with them, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
And they play at such a high level. Like I knew a little bit about the craziness and intricacies of Rocket League going into this, but man, they top their game, and it's awesome to just be around. And I've grown as a player because of it. I don't know what I'll make of this growth or where I'll go with esports, but I think I'm very happy that I went after this opportunity.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's in life, you have to take every opportunity you can, and sometimes you have to choose multiple opportunities, and you got to choose the best one that fits you, right? Which it seems like it all worked out. So when it came to casting, because you yourself got to be in our lovely casting booth,
that was a fun one.
That was really fun. So you got to do Rocket League. How'd you feel about that one?
So I wanted to cast both days of Rocket League, but we had a scheduling issue with one of our players, so I got subbed in. Okay. But luckily, I was able to cast the Rocket League final. Yeah. That was awesome. We actually had, you were there, and we had a student from, I believe, Valley View?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, yeah. We had a student from Valley View High School with us, and she was really interested in what we were doing, and she got to be a part of the cast, which was really cool. But I love the energy that Rocket League can bring to a caster, to a viewer. And it's one thing to just sit there and watch like cool Rocket League clips on my phone. I'm like, oh, that was cool. Okay. And then being in that casting chair, I get to yap my mouth off. I get to go and just start explaining and breaking it down, and also bringing the energy. I love the energy Rocket League could bring, and the amount of cool stuff that people have been able to figure out that you can do in Rocket League, and how much of it has made it to the basic foundation you need for esports, even though in the game this is like a top level mechanic, but in esports it's what it takes. Yeah. And it's so cool to see them just go after these mechanics flawlessly every time, and then also the other team being able to punish on their mistakes, all sorts of things. And I love being able to break that down in that casting chair. Yeah, and it's a very fast-paced game, too. So there's always something to commentate on. And even, when we were saying, like, oh, goal, oh, wait, there's about to be another goal. And it's like, you're like, wait, hold on. So yeah, you definitely have to, sometimes you have to play catch-up, which is awesome. Yeah, no, we had I believe, and I could be wrong, but I think she was a social media... she was managing their social media for Valley View. Oh yeah, yeah, for the players, which was really cool because it obviously keeps them more relevant, and then it keeps them in the loop too. So we can actually. And there's more to esports than just sitting down at a fancy computer and playing a video game. It's very true. There's a lot of regulations. There's a lot behind the scenes that a lot of people don't understand, or they don't realize how big of a deal it can be. Of course, and then having even just 1 to 2 people like at the high school. I'm thinking at the high school level, and I'm not sure whether or not they exist as a club or an athletic program or whatever. But still, just having someone dedicated to being your social media person takes something off the player's plate, and it is like one of the best way to promote student athletes in esports. Yeah. And there is a lot of value to media personnel and people who are interested in going into either advertising or any of these relevant fields that are just off like an offspring of esports. It's really interesting. Yeah, well, I know some people, they actually become social media managers. So that's actually positions like and titles for companies and stuff. For actual companies, yeah. So like they got to get started somewhere. So that's pretty awesome. It's a resume builder. It's really cool. That's true. Yeah, I mean, even here in the lab, I mean, there's so much to do and so much experience you can get from even working with certain software, or running around making sure all our extron equipment is working. Oh yeah. Which is it's been a journey, but it works fantastic, and I think we're pretty lucky.
to be honest.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, with our school having this lab and having the wonderful people that helped out so much, like we put it together. We made the Grim Cup or Grim Cup 2 specifically happen. But I think there's a lot to look forward to. What are you looking forward to forward from this point for the program?
So, I guess the next thing we're looking forward to is Player Signing Day. That's going to be the next big media-based event, and it's similar to how at the universities, whenever players are committing to different colleges, that they can sign letters of intent saying that they intend to play there and that this is like my school of choice for the fall 2024 season or the spring 2025 season. And in esports, it actually becomes relevant here at the community college level because not only are we using and showcasing your ability and using it to win and all that nice old sports stuff, but we are also using players' likeness and we're also trying to promote individual players. So being able to get these letters done and making sure that we don't have any slip-ups with media, and it's a task, and we're capable, and the amount of passion that's been going towards each major milestone has been huge. Grim Cup was awesome to see people being so passionate about and putting it together. And I think we're just transitioning out of Grim Cup mode into our next phase of the game, so to speak, to signing day, which I think will be awesome. Players will get their jerseys, staff will get their official polos. I think it'll be an awesome day.
Yeah, because we are technically a sport here, which is awesome. So I know that we're going to be getting a new stadium and all that. So what do you think of that?
Well, I think it's something to look forward to with the way athletics is going to reshape their whole department and sort of they're doing a lot actually behind the scenes, and I think there's a lot to look forward there. And I'm wondering how it's going to turn out and like what opportunities like esports will get out of it. And there's a lot of like forward thinking to be done, and I think that it's going to be put together really well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm excited to see where it goes, and even after, I mean, this year's graduates and next year's graduates, and eventually there's going to be none of the original people here. So I'm wondering, who we're going to leave it to, what they're going to make out of it.
That's such a weird one.
Yeah, I know. It's something.
I guess can happen with the ground level of any athletic program. It's like, so I guess the experience I can tie it to is my water polo team at North High School.
Yeah.
But I joined them for the second year that they got their water polo program back.
Okay.
And before that, there was like this 10-year gap of no water polo program. And it was so interesting graduating from that school and thinking like, what did I do? Where did I leave them off? Like,
yeah.
what did even the people in the grade above me do? And it's going to be something to think about while I'm here. Now that I've already had that experience, I have another chance. Well, not another chance, but this is a new start, a new chance, and it's something that we can really push forward into and get a lot of progress done.
Yeah, it's definitely something to think about. I would love to come back and visit after I graduate, and see how what they make of it. It's gonna be the opportunities.
I'm gonna be checking the athletics website, and I'm like, oh, there's a Valorant game on the schedule. I'm gonna pop in and just say hi, even if no one knows me for like who's he? It's like, oh, I used to go here. I go somewhere else now, but I was around. You have to trust me.
True. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm assuming we're gonna have the same LBCC staff, but it depends on when we come back and visit.
Yeah.
But it'll be nice to leave kind of our legacy behind. To just see where we started, what we made of it. And we know what we accomplished, and then obviously what we have in the future before we graduate. See how far we can take it for the program.
Yeah, really especially with what media's been able to accomplish. Like they have been designing like their own casting setup and their own stream overlays and their own process just to do a live stream. Wow. And it makes you think about Like, it's gotten me really invested in what does the world of sportscasting look like?
Right.
And does it actually mirror this environment oddly perfectly? And even though you guys are sort of designing it on the ground level, like from scratch, what is it like out there in terms of like the actual official sportscasting world?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I know that like having other clubs involved. I know we talked about because they have game design now, which is awesome at the here at the college, and I think that would be a great place to look for some players too for this good tryouts. Yeah,
I mean, to build a game, you have to know a game.
It's very true. Yeah,
something had to make you press WASD one time.
That's true. That is very true. I think every single person who is a part of this program has done that. Every single person, you can't not. But I mean, depending on how far back you go with your gaming experience. What is the first game you can even remember playing?
Oh my gosh. I
mean, you can do simple. You can do a PC game.
Okay, yeah. So the first, well, actually, I didn't have consoles as a kid. I got my first console when I was 17. I got a Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
Before that, I grew up a PC kid. I would go up to computers, go to random websites, play around with the task manager, start killing random tasks until the computer broke. And I do it in the school computer labs too, and just like my elementary school computer labs.
Oh, wow.
But my first game was probably pbskids.org. It was probably something on there.
Yeah.
And that's actually, funnily enough, how I got my gamer tag was the way their this is a kid's website, their account system. You got to put in your username, and then you either got to choose your password, which was in this little little text you had to click on, or you can click on one of the pre-made passwords and just be expected to remember it.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So what I ended up doing is I got their username Rumsey, and then obviously I forgot the password. And the way to remember your password, it was like this 3-code. You had to pick like a color, your favorite vehicle, your favorite animal, your favorite house, your favorite time of day, your favorite season, and then press OK.
Yeah.
So I never remembered any of that. I just click, OK.
It's like a terms and conditions page. You just click past it.
Exactly.
You should read those, by the way. Don't click past those terms and conditions.
We think so.
Very important. No, but yeah. So that's the oldest thing you can think of.
Yeah, but in terms of my gamer tag, when you forget your password, you get the option to make a new account. And obviously, I tried typing in Rumsey again, and it adds a number at the end.
Oh yeah.
So then I go through this process enough times to get to the number Rumsey 65. And that's what I landed on. That's when I finally clicked the make a password button. Yes. Well, not exactly 65 times. It would skip numbers here and there, but I used Rumsey 1 through 10.
Okay.
I know that for sure. And then it started randomizing the first digit with the second digit. And that was just the username that stuck. And that was my everything everywhere else. And
see, now we got an origin story.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
How he became. That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I think honestly, I can't remember the very first PC game I played. I just remember playing a lot of them. Like, I remember you could go to certain portals and things like that, like Newgrounds. I don't know if you remember that. That was interesting. But then, you have your own, like, you can go online and play Pong. Tetris. He does all. But back in the day when it was all free, we actually had to purchase every little bit of everything. But yeah, I remember playing those games. Sonic the Hedgehog, like obviously when that came out, I was all about it. I was like, and I'm assuming I don't know if this experience was the same, but I played on my mom's computer. It's like, okay, share the computer. I remember dial-up internet and all that. I mean, look how far we've come.
Oh my gosh,
it's just amazing.
Dial-up internet.
Yeah, that's right. Waiting for a picture to load. Imagine that. Waiting for little bits of picture till you got the whole picture to go to the bottom of the screen. It was a fun nightmare. And God forbid someone make a phone call and then it cuts you off from the internet. That was a night. So I went through all that. So it's like, and obviously our parents went through that and all that stuff, but it's just like seeing how far, like even when I was growing up, just how far we've come, where we are now, and how far we're moving forward, how fast we're moving forward in such a small amount of time. It's like, it's fantastic. It's almost mind blowing. It really is. It's almost mind blowing.
That's what lets us have this esports arena.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, I mean, back in the, I mean, like, honestly,
Could you imagine telling a 2000s kid that, hey, we're gonna have 52 PCs in one room, and they're all gonna be playing video games against each other until someone wins?
It's called a LAN party. I remember that. No, I remember. Do you remember LAN parties?
So,
were you able to take part of that?
I have like a secondhand experience with this because like my older cousin was kind of into video games. Mm-hmm. And I just remember that my mom, who was none the wiser, took him to this, like, he was like, oh, it's a computer event.
Yeah.
And then I got dragged along as, like, a wee infant. But he, like, allegedly this was, like, my first real exposure to a computer.
Okay.
But I don't remember anything too, like, detailed, obviously, because I was, like... probably maybe a foot tall.
Okay, yeah.
But like I can imagine it, like the whole link cable system with the handheld consoles, and then like what else you got with the computer like lines you could run to play video games.
Yeah, it's a LAN party. Yeah, okay, so yeah. They had the same thing with like for example the Xbox, like the original Xbox. You actually had to in order to, you'd run like the LAN cables from one Xbox to the next, and you can hook up like. Oh really? Well, there was limitations, but you could let's just say for example you do one Xbox to another, you have 8 players. You play 2 separate screens, 2 games. It was really cool. Like you could do a lot of different things with those, but it was limited to your household. You know what I mean?
And you need
but
2
like
Xboxes.
Yeah, right. But the original Xbox, I still have it. I have it in it. Wow. Yeah, it still works and everything. I have it preserved, if you will.
I'm not crazy old. I'm 18 right now, so.
Does that make me crazy old?
Go back. Well, I don't know if that makes you crazy.
No, you're
old.
fine. You're fine. Go ahead. No, I was like, because it's every generation's perception of old is something different. Oh, of course. So it's like if you think of like 1950s, you're like, wow, that's ancient. But it's not really that long ago if you think about it.
Wow, did they have Morse code back then? That's crazy.
Yes, they did. They did have Morse code back then. Yes, actually. Yeah. A telegraph system was already in place, and you had everything. Right? Yeah, good old days.
I mean, my references of those ages, right, are from YouTube videos. Like the entire history of the world, I guess, was like it was a personality arc in high school. Like I knew like most of it verbatim. But like the whole idea of, hey, I just sent you a message through a wire. It's really crazy to think about.
I mean, believe it or not, people still use pigeons to send messages.
It's the most secure way. Yeah, like, they're never going to get them. The government won't get them.
Obviously they show it on TV and stuff, but they really do. They really do. It's actually a way to still get messages throughout. I'm sure it's not like as prevalent, but they still do. I mean, there's plenty of pigeons in New York, as I hear. Oh. So, just find one. Where is it? Where's my message?
There you go.
Just don't meet in Town Square. Stuck there. Don't go to Central Park. There's no way you're going to find your message. No, but in terms of the technology, they had a lot of the 50s, but radios and whatnot. But fast forwarding, now you have VoIP and instantaneous gratification for pretty much everything. Cell phones. Like I'm sure you've seen a picture of an extremely old cell phone, a big blocky thing. Gosh. The old construction phones, you might have seen an old movie. Like now you just have like a, brand new iPhone or like, Samsung or whatever it is.
My grandma has one of those like big white, this tall, like, and then you lift up the antenna and it's this tall and that's a cell phone.
Yep. That was, they even had the car phone was a big thing. It cost an exorbitant amount of money.
I just plug in my phone in my car. Apple CarPlay.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, look how easy it is now. I know. The struggle was real, and it's funny too because like even though I may like the generations you're closest to, you're like you think about, okay, what came before me, and like wow, like that's crazy, and you learn about it, and you're like, okay, like I'm so grateful for what I have, and then you follow that train of thought all the way back to like people say who were in the 60s, they were like, oh my gosh, like what they did in the 50s, like lead-lined refrigerators were a thing, like. I mean, it just doesn't really matter. Like, there's any little like increment of time you get to a new appreciation for what came previously, and then the new generation will build on it.
Well, part of me is wondering too, right? Because we've hit the same refresh rate for computers and computer screens of the human eye. So, at what point do you improve from there?
I mean, for example, like they try to get the megapixels in a camera to be more and more and more, and it's like the human eye can't distinct past a certain point, and it doesn't matter, right? At one point, you can look at for example, the high def TUHD and all that, and it looks fantastic. But there's no way the human eye can differentiate the difference, Obviously, running a 4K rig, playing your games versus a 1080p, yeah, you could tell, right? You could definitely tell the quality.
Yeah.
But, in terms of once you hit 4K, you go to 8K, and it's like at what point you're like, you know what, like I'm good. I don't need to go any further. If there is even another ceiling to break through, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But
64K monitor.
I couldn't even imagine. Like that would be way beyond where we are for sure. I think they try to for VR, right? So like the VR games and the new headsets they came out with. I mean, it's pretty mind boggling. Or
trying to get a little 4K or even 8K screen in those like little headsets.
Yeah. So I mean, when it comes to like the games for that, I mean, I don't even know if there's going to be. I'm assuming in the future therell be esports allowing VR. That'd be pretty fun.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I'd be a little awkward to watch somebody. I mean, kind of funny actually. You ever seen those VR videos where people just like scare other people with VR horror games and then they break their TV or something? Obviously, don't do that. It's not safe. But warning. No, but
don't try it at home.
Don't try this at home. No, absolutely not. But there's a lot of innovations, and I think it would be kind of fun to see in the future there. Yeah, pretty awesome.
Like I guess like on the AR VR AR esports sounds ridiculous. AR combat sounds ridiculous, and it sounds so far out in the future, but like this will exist on YouTube or whatever you're publishing this on, and this comment will outlive whatever supersedes that.
You want to be a meme then? Yeah. Make a pose. Yeah. You'll see text underneath you any moment now.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, right. Ramsey said what? No, but yeah, no, it's crazy to think. But I think what we've done so far here is amazing. And it's just like I want to come in here every day, and I get so excited just to be in here.
The passion in this room is outstanding. Even from our just like basic meeting that probably spans about half an hour, the amount of passion in this room when you come into work every day on this program, it's unbelievable and it's contagious. And I feel like the in-person environment is the way to go for esports. And like this experience has thoroughly convinced me. And it's only been a matter of like a month and a half.
Yeah, we're still brand new.
we're still brand new, building things at the ground level, and it is awesome to be a part of. Yeah,
I agree. Absolutely. Well, Ramsey, thank you very much for your time. We've shocked each other's ears off, but it's fun. It's really fun. And, that'll do it for us. We really appreciate it. You can get back to your operations. Thank you so much. For LBCC Esports, my name is Chris, also known as Iron B7. And we have Ramsey or Ramsey65, as we've already found out. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. And we'll see you next time.